What is good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nonboy back with another video, and in today's video I have my first and only team that I'm going to be releasing for the Fighting Cup remix. And I took this team from Jonkus, and this team consists of the Toxicroak lead, Poliwrath on the safe swap, and the throw in the back. So this is a pretty limited format since there's really maybe 7 to 10 Pokemon that you see being played regularly in this cup. So this is a pretty solid team. You have the number 1 ranked Pokemon of the Toxicroak, and then you have the throw in the back to counter Toxicroaks, and you have the Poliwrath as a flexible safe swap. So without further ado, let's get into these matches here. So honestly, I misplay quite a bit in these matchups just because they were my very first battles in this cup. But first match here, we have a Poliwrath lead. So we reached the Mud Bombs the same time that they get to the Scalds, but probably shouldn't go for the Mud Bombs just because, as you can see here, they don't do all that much damage, and the Scald does like most of your health. It does maybe 70% of your health along with the Mud Shot. So I tried to catch a Scald there, but they actually hold on to their energy, and then I'm going to throw a Scald into the Toxicroak here. So opponent deciding not to shield, so again, like, you get to see how much damage that actually ends up doing. So they allow us to reach an Ice Punch before they throw a move at us, which is pretty nice. And here I kind of lose track of their energy, but I decide to shield this, which is the Sludge Bomb, so they're going to be forced to throw a move if they want to take me out. And I didn't know at this point that I would survive this Mud Bomb, so I should have thrown my Ice Punch to at least threaten to get Switchback. But now we're going to be bringing in our Pokemon at the same time, and I bring mine in just a half a second sooner than they bring in their Poliwrath, so they're able to get the Scald off. Whereas if I'd known, like, if we came in at the same time and I was able to see, I would have spam clicked my Mud Bomb knowing that we wouldn't CMP. But in the end, it doesn't really matter there since they did have a throw. Actually, it might have mattered, but we end up losing that match because of that. So next match, we have the Toxicroak lead. So I swap instantly into my Poliwrath, and then they catch a Scald on their own Poliwrath. So a bit of a sticky scenario for us. Like, they did some counter damage to us, which does just about as much damage as the Scald I did there. But here we're just going to have to stay in here and play this out and pray for some debuffs to help us maybe flip this mid matchup here. So I'm going to throw my next Scald, and we do get the attack fell, so I'm able to get off another Scald before they get another move off. And if this also gets the attack fell, I do not have to shield this next move, and I might be able to fight for swap back. So I'm going to let this go, and then we're going to be able to get swap back, but they actually snipe us down with their Toxicroak, which is a pretty good play by the opponent. And then I bring my throw in here. I'm going to shield up this Sludge Bomb just because it would do a lot of damage. And then I'm most likely going to tank the next one just because I do not want to give up my final shield. So Sludge Bomb coming through here, doing a lot of damage to the throw. And then we have, let's see what the opponent's final Pokemon is. It ends up being a Heracross. So this is a pretty sticky situation for us since our Toxicroak will not be able to do very much damage to it with the fast moves. But we can't get to enough charge moves anyway, so we're going to have to fully attempt to farm down this Heracross here. So they're going to get the first move through. I'm going to shield it, but it seems like they're at the back-to-back, so we have to try to survive one of these moves. But at this range here, a close combat, even though it is resisted, is going to be able to take us out, and that is a GG for my opponent. Next match here, we have the Toxicroak into Poliwrath, so I'm going to stay in here for a little bit, and honestly, you probably shouldn't go for the Mud Bomb just because it really isn't that threatening of a move. Like, your opponent can easily tank this and then get the Scald off. Like, their Scald is way more threatening than your Mud Bomb. And then here I tried to blind catch a Scald, but the opponent didn't throw right away on the Toxicroak, which kind of should have gave away that they were running the Dynamic Punch. But now I'm going to have to shield this if I don't want to get taken out. And then I throw the Scald here, and this should take out from this range. So let's see if that is the case. And then the opponent brings in a Toxicroak, so we're going to be able to get to a Scald here before they're able to reach a Mud Bomb. And at this point, the opponent decides to commit to a full farm down here, which is a good play by the opponent, recognizing I won't make it to another move. And then I probably shouldn't have swapped out here, since now we're going to be CMP tying with the Sneasel on the aerial aces, and they're going to be able to take us out here. So a bit of an unfortunate situation. I didn't realize that they had the Sneasel in the back. Like, I kind of just swapped because they swapped, and that's going to cost us a little bit here, but we will be able to farm down with the throw, and maybe we'll be able to get to a body slam, and the Zen Headbutt damage will take out the Toxicroak here. So I throw on kind of poor timing since I didn't know, but Zen Headbutt is a 3-turn fast move, so I should have thrown either 1 or 3. But we needed to throw 3 since we weren't quite at the body slam if we just threw 1. But either way, we're able to sneak a move through and then take out the Toxicroak. So GG's to my opponent. Next match, we have the Toxicroak mirror match in the lead. And this time, I'm going to stay in here for a bit. And we lose CMP, which I kind of figured anyways, just because my Toxicroak is pretty high ranked. Like, it doesn't have an attack weight. So I'm going to throw this Mud Bomb, and then I'm going to see what my opponent decides to do here. So I swap instantly into the Poliwrath. Maybe should have tried to catch a move instead, but they catch a move onto their own Poliwrath. So this might be a similar scenario as the last time, where if we get enough debuffs first, we will be able to flip switch here. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to get off as many of these Scalds as I can, but the opponent actually has Dynamic Punch here, so I'm going to go for this Scald. And let's see what happens here. Going to be able to get to another Scald. An opponent actually letting that go, so now they're going to get some extra farm with the Toxicroak. I'm going to bring my throw in here to soak up the damage and sneak in a Zen Headbutt, so that does quite a bit of damage to the Toxicroak. And then they have a Heracross in the back, so we kind of saw how this played out last time. Like, our counter damage isn't doing quite so much, but the opponent is going to have to debuff themselves here to take us out. And they're going to have to throw 2 because we're going to shield 1. Or maybe we won't, and we'll save the shield for the throw. But they're going to have to throw a close combat at our throw to take it out. So after this, we probably only need to get 1 more body slam off. Or not body slam, Zen Headbutt. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw this body slam, and we should be able to take out the Toxicroak there. And then on to the final match, we have the Toxicroak into a Poliwrath. So gonna see how I decide to play this out differently. And since these were my first matches, like, I was kind of experimenting with how to play different matchups, and as you can see, the gameplay is kind of like suboptimal in a lot of cases, but that's kind of just the way it is when you are playing in a new cup. So I go for an Ice Punch, which isn't the best move, but I reach another Scald, and they actually throw CMP, so that ends up working out okay for us, and we actually end up surviving that because it is not super effective. So gonna be able to get the Scald off. So us throwing the Ice Punch ended up being alright, since like we were only going to get to an Ice Punch and a Scald regardless. So now I'm gonna bring my Toxicroak in, since we're gonna resist the close combats and the Rock Blast. So I'm fine with tanking this Rock Blast here, since I know the throw hits anything for super effective damage in this cup. And we're going to be able to get a Mud Bomb off, and then I swap into my own throw. And then they bring their Poliwrath back in. So now we just have to try to take this thing out while maintaining as much of our health as we can for the throw in the back. So opponent throws off a Scald. Thankfully, no debuff. And now I'm going to get the Body Slam off. Opponent shields, so I'm counting the moves, so I'm trying to figure out if I should farm them all the way down or if I should throw my Body Slam. So we get lucky again by not getting a debuff, and at this point we are able to commit to the farm down, so this works out in our favor since we do have some loaded energy to throw at the throw in the back. That was kind of a tongue twister there, but this is still going to be pretty close since our health is about the same, and they are probably a little bit ahead on energy at this point. Like they definitely have a body slam, and probably close to another one as well. Like they're probably saving one for the Toxicroak as well, but we're actually able to survive that body slam and sneak through a Zen headbutt and win that very close match there. So overall, I mean, these battles weren't really played too well, and as you can see here, like you're really seeing the same like 7 to 8 Pokemon. Like what do we see? We saw Toxicroak, Poliwrath, Throw, Sneasel, and Heracross. So I don't even know how many that was. I wasn't counting, but very few Pokemon. So very RPS league, but wouldn't really recommend you guys play it, especially if you're trying to climb. I'd rather stick to the Open Great League. But that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also submit your battles in the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.